From WDTN, the station that's working for you, this is 5 on 2.
We're facing a unique and dangerous situation for the next few days in Ohio.
That situation, a winter storm moving into the state tonight. We'll have more on how the state is prepared to handle the Arctic blast that's approaching. First this half hour, the Miami Valley bracing for that winter storm, and it's right at the doorstep.
It's bringing Arctic air, temperatures will plummet, and rain will change to snow. Here's a live look from Chicago, where the storm is already bringing snow, strong winds, and single-digit temperatures. All of that is headed our way to the Miami Valley tonight.
And we are bringing you team coverage, starting with Storm Team 2 Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis with a first look at that winter storm. What's it looking like now, Brian?
Well, right now, just rain for us, and that'll be the case for a few more hours. You can see the rain breaking out to the west of us there across eastern Indiana and beginning to push toward the western portions of Ohio at this time. That rain area also really starting to expand, so that shows that our low-pressure centers starting to really explode, really starting to deepen now, and the rain is going to expand. That's going to move in first, and then the problem is going to be we're going to have a rapid transition over to snow. Already the rain-snow line just to the west of Indianapolis, and the wind has turned to the west in Indy, so their temperature beginning to drop, and it won't be long before they're going to be seeing some ice forming or go over to some of that heavy snow, which is pushing up through southwest Indiana. That is going to swing across the Miami Valley tonight. We're going to see several inches of snow with the rapidly falling temperatures, the icy conditions, big travel night, and tomorrow also a big travel day coming up. We're going to put that winter weather index at high. If you can avoid travel until later tomorrow or Saturday, that would be a good thing. Better to travel on Christmas Eve. We'll be over the worst of the storm by then, but the cold will still be here. So we'll see snow tonight, snow showers Friday, blowing and drifting snow, whiteout conditions at times, and that is going to create some very dangerous travel conditions. We have winter storm warnings in effect for the entire area. Overnight, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Good luck measuring it, because it's probably going to be a 6-foot drift in one location, an inch of snow somewhere else in the yard, and gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour. Try not to travel. If you do, better have that winter survival kit with you. I'll have details on what to expect as we head to the holiday weekend in the complete Storm Team 2 forecast.
All right, thank you, Brian. And don't forget, you can get weather updates sent straight to your phone by downloading the free Storm Team 2 app. If you open the camera on your phone and point it towards the QR code on your screen, that will take you to the page on our website with links to download the app.
Yeah, as you heard from Brian, some dangerous conditions with this storm, and state leaders are calling the storm a crisis for all of Ohio.
Transportation and emergency officials are preparing for dangerous situations all across the state. 2 News reporter Allison Gens continues our team coverage with these leaders' warnings for all Ohioans. Allison.
John Riley, with a combination of quick freezing roads and holiday travel, this is going to be a dangerous next few days. The governor's office, ODOT, Ohio EMA, and OSP are all working together to keep Ohioans safe during the storm. The main concern is flash freezing on the roads starting around 9 tonight. Now, because of the rain today and below freezing temperatures, salt loses its effectiveness, so ODOT will have crews on the roads around the clock to make sure that the roads are passable. Now, emergency officials are also working with power companies to prepare for scattered power outages. If your power does go out, report it right away and check in on neighbors and loved ones. With the effects of this storm expected to last into Christmas Day, all of these agencies are urging Ohioans to rethink their holiday travel plans and stay home if you can.
It's going to be tougher for people to make a more rational decision to pull back. But you know, in the end, you have to consider the safety of your family and consider, you know, what your loved ones would want. They want you to live.
If you do have to travel, give yourself extra time and let people know when you are leaving, your ETA, and what time you do arrive at your destination. In the studio, Allison Gens, 5 on 2.
Thank you, Allison. And Ohio State Police say they nearly doubled the amount of patrols across the state for this winter weekend. And
they expect more drivers on the roads traveling for Christmas, but they say the roads that have not been pre-treated, that would be their #1 concern. 2 News reporter Caroline Morse continues our team coverage on this winter storm. Caroline.
Both OSP and ODOT say that the roads are their major concern here tonight. Now, I'm in the back of ODOT quarters, which is normally very populated with trucks, but you can see behind me that 6,000-ton pile is standing still. They said that the rain this morning has been very challenging, and the rain and winds we'll see tonight has made pre-treating impossible. Now, Ohio State Police told me that the roads is a major concern, but also hoping drivers exercise patience with a flash freeze.
You got to be patient. You got to slow down. Just take your time getting to your from destinations. We're going to do a lot of line checks. We're going to be checking interstates and state routes. That way we can ensure that if there is a disabled motorist or a crash, we can get to them as quick as we can.
The Ohio State Police are gearing up for the worst after ODOT says they aren't able to treat the roads beforehand due to constant rainfall. Sergeant Tyler Ross advises drivers to practice the 3 Ps: preparation, planning, and most of all, patience.
And that's not just going to where you're going to and from, but like I said, accelerating, deaccelerating, changing lanes, braking, everything that you do is going to take a lot more time.
Last winter season, OSP reports 13,000 crashes resulting in 17 fatalities statewide. OSP says their main concern right now are the small back roads, bridges, and overpasses that drivers may not anticipate to be slick.
Make sure you understand overpasses are going to freeze first. They don't have that soil underneath them, so they're going to freeze a lot quicker. That soil's not going to warm them up. So as you approach them, slow down, try to give yourself enough time and enough space between you and the vehicle in front of you. And then just, again, have patience.
Now, if you do end up having any car troubles on the road, Ohio State Police says that you can call them directly by dialing pound 677 to get immediate assistance. Live in Moraine, I'm Caroline Morse, 5 on 2.
Thank you, Caroline. Now, air travel for the holidays is a yearly gamble.
Yeah, and this year is no different with the storm that we're facing. Many flights right now are being moved or they're being canceled entirely. And just days before the holidays, it's causing many flyers to have to work around the elements.
We have family coming in. We have Christmas plans that we're probably right now looking to make some adjustments on.
We spoke today with Dayton International Airport about how their travelers can be prepared. Now, if you're concerned about the status of your flight, call or check the website of the airline that you're flying with, not the airport. The airport has no control over canceled flights. The search continues for 5-month-old Kason Thomas and the woman suspected of abducting him. The Columbus Division of Police and the FBI have expanded their search to Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania for the boy, as well as the suspect, 24-year-old Nala Jackson, who faces felony kidnapping charges. Monday night, a mother left her car running outside of a pizza shop in Columbus when Jackson is believed to have stolen the car with the 5-month-old twin boys in the back seat. Now, Kyer was found early Tuesday morning outside in the parking lot at Dayton International Airport. However, Kason is still missing. Police are asking everyone to be on the lookout for a car very similar to what's on your screen right now, a 2010 black 4-door Honda Accord. They believe it's missing a front bumper. There's also a bumper sticker on the back that reads Westside City Toys, and it does not have a license plate. Now, we are also expecting an update momentarily from police.
A man is in jail after allegedly shooting and killing his brother in what he says was self-defense. Dayton police were dispatched to a home on Clover Street near Parrott Street just after 5 last night. In a call to 911, the man says his brother was drunk when they got into a fight. The man says he defended himself after his brother attempted to shoot him.
I took the gun from him because he tried to shoot me and I shot him back.
Okay, where's he at?
Dead. He's dead in his room.
Officers arrived on scene and found the victim dead. The incident remains under investigation. A teenager involved in the shooting death of a Lyft driver earlier this year is being tried as an adult. The Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office announced today 15-year-old DeTravon Mitchell has been indicted on counts of murder, aggravated robbery, felonious assault, evidence tampering, and grand theft of a motor vehicle. Several other juveniles also face charges in connection with the January 26th robbery and shooting that left 35-year-old Brandon Cooper dead. Mitchell is scheduled to be arraigned on December 29th.
We're following up on yesterday's officer-involved shooting at a grocery store in Sydney. The man suspected of opening fire in that Foodtown grocery store has died from his injuries after being shot by police. As the Foodtown grocery on Wapakoneta Avenue was opening yesterday, police say the man walked into the store with a gun and started shooting near the counters. Several witnesses called 911. Police shot the gunman. He was taken to a hospital where we have confirmed with Ohio BCI that he died. No one else was hurt. Ohio BCI is leading that investigation. Coming up, we'll continue following that winter storm moving into the Miami Valley tonight, and we're going to talk with a health professional about how to stay safe in the severely cold temperatures.
And the Senate passes a $1.7 trillion spending bill to fund the government in the new year. A live report from D.C. on what's in that bill as it moves to the House.
We continue to follow breaking news on the Amber Alert still in effect here in Ohio since early Tuesday morning as authorities continue to look for Kason Thomas.
Yeah, we're going to go live now to an update from Columbus Police. They're updating us on the status of this child.
Case involving Kyer and Kason. At approximately 2 p.m., Nala Jackson was taken into custody in Indianapolis by Indianapolis Metro Police, and she was positively identified by Indianapolis Metro Police and the FBI. This occurred after receiving several tips that she was in the Indianapolis area. At this moment, she is being questioned by the police. However, Kason Thomas was not with her at the time of her arrest. We want to again thank our partners for all their help in this case thus far and their continuous efforts to locate Kason. Our officers, detectives, sergeants, lieutenants, and commanders have been working around the clock since Kyer and Kason went missing late Monday night. Again, we will not stop until we find Kason. The FBI is offering a $10,000 reward for the safe return of Kason. If you know anything about his whereabouts, please call our tip line at 614-645-4701 or 1-800-CALL-FBI. We are relieved to have located the suspect, and it takes us one step closer to locating Kason. But we will not stop searching until he is brought home safely. I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Ware to step up to provide more details about the arrest and the timeline that led up to the arrest. Reminder, this is an ongoing investigation, so there will be some information we cannot provide at this time. We will provide the best information that we can. Thank you.
Good evening. Over the past 12 to 24 hours, our officers have followed up and received over 3 dozen tips from community members, both locally here in Columbus and Central Ohio and throughout the state. Overnight, they responded to those tips. They followed up. They interviewed people. They tried to retrieve video of reported sightings. They talked to numerous individuals in the community. When we received tips from jurisdictions outside of Central Ohio, officers relayed those to the jurisdiction in charge of that area, and they were able to follow up in that manner. This morning, late this morning, on our hotline, the 645-4701 number that we provided to the community, we received several calls generated from Indiana from some individuals who were relaying concerns or information that they believed that they had spotted Nala in Indianapolis. Our detective was able to corroborate some of that information. At a certain point during that discussion, they believed that it became more of an emergency situation in terms of a current ongoing. They were witnessing Miss Jackson, in person at that time. At that time, our detective implored those individuals to call 911 in Indiana and ask for IMPD to respond immediately. Over the course of the next several hours, it was an ongoing. We know that IMPD was responding. We received word at approximately 2 p.m. that they had an individual stopped that they believed to be Miss Jackson. Over the course of the next hour or so, our detectives worked with IMPD to try to corroborate that and her identity. She was positively identified through fingerprints as Nala Jackson and taken into custody. At this time, like Chief Bryant said, Kason Thomas has not been located. We are imploring the community in Central Ohio, in the greater Dayton area, and in the greater Indianapolis area. If you have any information regarding this crime or the whereabouts of the baby, please contact us as soon as possible. 3 detectives from Columbus Division of Police are en route to Indianapolis as we speak. They will be coordinating with IMPD and the FBI to further this investigation. The Ohio State Highway Patrol has information, the current information, to update the Amber Alert locally in Ohio, and the state of Indiana has information, and they are working on extending that Amber Alert into the state of Indiana with information, or asking for information to locate the vehicle and for Kassan Thomas. And that's the update from us. Chief Bryant?
We'll take any questions.
Has Ms. Jackson said anything to investigators in Indianapolis as to where the child is? Does she bring the child with her to Indianapolis? What's she been saying?
We don't have that information. She's being currently questioned.
How would you describe her mental state, or how she's responding to the deal?
We have not laid eyes on her personally. Again, she's in Indianapolis, so we don't have that information.
Have you guys been able to find out if somebody was helping her in Indy, kind of, hide her out for the last few days?
We're hopeful to find all that out. This is really very fresh and very new for us. We wanted to get that information out as soon as possible, but at this point, we don't have any additional information.
I understand that she may have been located in some sort of drug house. Is that the case? Was she located in some sort of place where substances were being used?
That is not where she was taken into custody.
Or was she taken into custody?
My understanding is it was on the streets. Yes.
Downtown or a certain neighborhood?
I'm not sure about the actual location in Indianapolis.
Yesterday you talked about trying to get in touch with her family, and that still hadn't happened yet. Has that since happened, and has that led to anything?
No. Unfortunately, it has not happened. We were not able to get in touch with her family and be able to have that connection that we were looking for.
Are they uncooperative, or is it like they're just challenging to reach?
I'm going to let Deputy Chief Ware answer that question.
Yeah, I believe it's more just the challenge to reach, and whether we have the correct information, whether we have updated phone numbers or addresses. I just at this time I know that we made a concerted effort to reach out to locate the mother, and at this time we haven't been able to do so. But we don't believe that she's necessarily trying to avoid us. However, we haven't been able to reach her.
Any ties? Does she have any ties to Indy?
Not that we know of right now.
Any reason to believe that Kassan is in Indianapolis or still in Columbus?
We're not taking anything off the table, which is why we're continuing to work with our partners, FBI, as well as Indianapolis Metro Police. We don't know at this point where Kassan is. That's why we're imploring the public, anyone, as little of information as you may think it is, it could be important. If you saw someone with a baby, if you saw a baby carriage on the street, whatever you may have seen, please call the tip line or please call 1-800-CALL-FBI so that we can get that information and try to vet it.
And what about the car? Was that found in Indy? Do you know where that is?
We do not know the location of the car at this time.
Or the last time it was seen? The last time you told us it was at Huber Heights when it was seen on the video. Any idea if it was in Dayton, in Indianapolis, Indiana?
We don't know. The last location that we saw the car was where we told you. So we don't have any additional information.
How concerning is it? Obviously, we've been talking the last few days about this, winter storm we have coming. She's been discovered, but the baby hasn't. Just for you guys, just personally, how concerning is it that this baby still hasn't been found?
It's very concerning, which is why we're imploring anyone that may have any information. If she dropped a baby off, or if somebody is at someone's home and they've never seen a baby before, and all of a sudden there's a baby there, any information that they can give us, regardless of how small or insignificant someone may think it is, could lead to us actually locating Kassan. So we're asking, please give us a call.
These tips that came in, they're anonymous tips. They're people that knew her, that said she was in Indianapolis, that pointed you to Indianapolis.
There were several tips from people that I don't believe they knew her. They were people that saw or heard about the information, whether it was through social media, whether it was on the news, that believed that they located her.
And there's been large search parties being organized by various organizations of the family. Is this something that you want it to happen, that large canvassing effort by the community?
Well, it never hurts when anyone is involved in trying to especially locate a missing child. So we appreciate the community's efforts. We appreciate all law enforcement efforts to try to locate Kassan and bring him home. So we would never say that you shouldn't convene a search party because they may provide valuable information. So we've been very appreciative of the public's ability to step up and help us try to find this baby.
Was Jackson with anyone else when she was arrested? Was she in a car, just walking on the streets? What are some of the information or what happened there?
So what I will tell you is at this point there are certain things that we're not going to discuss for the preservation of the investigation. We do know that she was taken into custody. As you know, we've been very transparent in doing briefings. As soon as we're able to give more information, we will provide that.
Can you talk about what the conversation may have been like with Kassan's parents after hearing maybe or giving them this information?
I will let Assistant Chief Bacher step up and answer that question for you.
Sure. We thought it was really important when we had confirmed that our suspect was in custody in Indianapolis to let the family know about that. I had a conversation with both mom and dad to let them know that we did have Miss Jackson in custody and that their child was not with her.
With her being arrested in Indiana, are they allowed to issue an Amber Alert in Indiana now for the child?
They are. Deputy Chief Weir mentioned that briefly, and that process was begun. If you were here yesterday, OSP explained that process and how that works. That process was begun once we confirmed that she was in custody. Obviously, we have corroborative evidence that she was in a different state, which allows us to put out an Amber Alert in that state, and that process has begun.
How does this change or factor into the equation of whether this is a federal investigation or how federal investigators may take a role in this?
Absolutely. Now that she has crossed state lines, it absolutely can be a federal investigation. So.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, and that is Columbus Police giving us an update after 24-year-old Nala Jackson has been arrested in Indianapolis nearly 70 hours after she is accused of abducting twin 5-month-old boys Kyer and Kason Thomas in Columbus late Monday night. 7 hours after that abduction, Kyer was found outside at Dayton International Airport in a parking lot. But as you heard Columbus Police just talking about right there, Kason Thomas still has yet to be found. Yes, and they're imploring people to reach out, send in any information you might have seen. You never know if you have seen something, so make sure to check our website, WDTN.com. We have all the tip line numbers there. Well, coming up next, we'll have more on this winter storm. Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis will give us an update on the timing of that weather.